A very good morning to all of you. I hope all well. In the last class, we have discussed section 16. Read with its rule, mainly rule 36. Also, we have started section 17. Very good morning, Yogesh, Geet, and everyone. Also, we have started section 17. In the 17, we have talked about till subsection 4. Now we need to read the rule 42 and rule 43, which I have kept for the next class. Rule 42 and 43, which we will do in the subsequent class, either Friday or Sunday. Today we will start the concept of block credit. Before starting the concept and discussion of the block credit, tell me 3 transactions of block credit as per your understanding, which you can recall. मुझे कोई भी 3 transaction बता दीजिए which has been blocked in the 17 subsection 5. Ha, over to you. Now you tell me any 3 transactions of which ITC is blocked under section 17 subsection 5. Kindly select everyone name so that it would be visible to all. Okay. So I got the correct answer from all the participants. Thank you so much. Now let's move further and we'll discuss one by one clause. Tell me before one more point. Tell me one point. That suppose I have purchased a motor vehicle for my director, Honda City, let's say, and I clearly instructed that this motor vehicle will be used completely for office purpose. You cannot use for own purpose. Business purpose, completely business purpose. Will you allow me to take ITC up to 13-seater? Will you allow me to take ITC? Will you allow me to take ITC? The answer is no. Therefore, we can say that 17 subsection 5 ITC is blocked even it is for furtherance of business. Why so? Because it is starting with notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1 of 16 and subsection 1 of 18. Means whether it is permissible according to 16.1, that is business purpose, and 18.1, which we will discuss later on. ITC shall not be available in respect of the following. ITC क्या नहीं होगा, मुझे ITC नहीं मिलेगा because of the following. Notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 1 and 18.1, ITC shall not be available in respect of the following. Therefore, you have given the correct answer that even though that particular car or that particular any expenditure, it is used for business, ITC not allowed. Is there any difference? I am purchasing the car and using for my business purpose, and I'm purchasing the car for further selling that car. Is there any difference or both are same item? मैंने कार खरीदी और मैं अपने बिजनेस पर्पस के लिए यूज कर रहा हूं. मैंने कार खरीदी और कार को फर्दर सेल कर रहा हूं. Is there any difference? Answer is yes. There is a difference because it is permissible. इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का बेनिफिट मुझे मिल जाएगा अगर आप किसी भी एक्सपेंडिचर का मोरलेस, we'll discuss the proviso, explanation, multiple things we will discuss. But prima facie point used in the course of furtherance of business is blocked in the 17.5. अगर कोई चीज का मैं फर्दरेंस ऑफ बिजनेस के लिए भी यूज करता हूं तब भी ब्लॉक है, लेकिन अगर कोई फर्दर सप्लाई के लिए यूज करता हूं देन ITC ideally would be permissible. How it is permissible we will read the provision. Now it says that motor vehicle for transportation of person having approved sitting capacity of not more than 13% including the driver, except when they are used for making following taxable supplies. From this line or from this para, I can say they have given the two exception that you can use the ITC or you can take the ITC of the motor vehicle. Quickly tell me what are the two exception I can say, or whatever the two provisions or point carved out from this particular para by which you are entitled to take the ITC of the motor vehicle is used for transportation of person. अगर मैं गुड्स के लिए यूज करता हूं तो ITC मिलेगा ना. If I am purchasing the truck, will the ITC be allowed? If I am purchasing the truck for transportation of goods, will the ITC be allowed? Answer is yes, it will be allowed. And second is, if my motor vehicle is more than 13 seater, then ITC would always be allowed. If I'm purchasing the bus for the transportation of my own employee, passenger, will the ITC be allowed? If I am purchasing the bus for transportation of my employee, will the ITC be allowed? Answer is yes. Saminathan, answer is yes, because the clause A is restricting only 13-seater vehicle. Meaning thereby the two conditions are there. First, it should be transportation of person, and second, it should be up to 13-seater. Then ITC is blocked. ITC is blocked. But again, for those vehicle for which ITC is blocked, you can take the ITC if they are used for the following taxable supply. Correct, Yogesh. See, is it for transportation of person? Answer is yes. Plus, is it for up to 13-seater? Answer is yes. If both conditions are satisfied, then ITC is blocked. See, try to make one concept, one para which allow you to take the ITC of two categories. One, if the motor vehicle is more than 13-seater, you are not required to see any condition what is the actual use. Second, if the motor vehicle is used for the goods, motor vehicle is transportation of goods, then also there is no problem, you can take the ITC. But if both conditions are satisfied, it is for transportation of persons up to 13-seater, then also ITC would be allowed, provided it has been used in the following taxable supplies. Clause A, further supply. Clause B, transportation of passenger. Clause C, imparting the training. And it should be the taxable supplies. It should be the taxable supplies. Means you are doing purchase and sale of that motor vehicle. You are doing transportation of passenger. And further you are doing imparting the training. Out of which three, You are permitted. Now again tell me, if I have purchased the bus which is 52-seater capacity and not used in any of the three purpose, will the ITC be allowed? Try to understand. I have purchased a bus, but I am not using any of the three purpose. Will the ITC be allowed? Will the ITC be allowed? Answer is yes. When you need to see these three conditions, when you need to see or refer these three conditions, if my motor vehicle is up to 13 seater, if my motor vehicle is up to 13 seater, then only. अगर मेरा motor vehicle ही more than 13 है, do I need to see these condition? No. In motor vehicle having less than 13 seater used for the transport, not used. Point to be noted. Sanjay, point to be noted. They have not taken the word used. Motor vehicle for transportation of person, not used. It means motor vehicle itself having the permission of the transportation of goods. There are two categories of the motor vehicle, right? By which you can carry the passenger or by which you can carry the goods. तो जो आपका आरसी है, रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट जो है आपका इसका मोटर व्हीकल का, that should be for the transportation of goods. Actual use is irrelevant. तो अगर आपका, see, if it is the transportation of goods, then the concept of seaters will not come. Am I right, Sanjay? So sometimes the people says I have purchased a Mercedes. Sometimes the people says I have purchased a Mercedes, but I'm using only for the delivery. Will I be allowed to take ITC? No. No. Check the registration which you have taken when you have taken the car, for which purpose it was allowed. Transportation person. They're not allowed. So I hope it is clear. See, all the above clause and the bottom part clear. Okay, now they are saying the vessel and aircraft when they are used. Vessel and aircraft. Now, please note, for vessel and aircraft, they are not having like this type of the condition or exception. It should be for transportation of person. It should be for up to 13 seater. No. They are saying vessel and aircraft will always be under block category except for the below four purpose. Four purpose, all purpose are same. Further supply of the such vessel, transportation of passenger, imparting the training or training of the vessel, or flying, imparting the training on flying of such aircraft. And then for transportation of goods, can you please tell me two things? I have always two doubt. You please help me to resolve. First, why they have made separate clause 2 for goods instead of the clause E? मेरा पहला डाउट है, इन्होंने ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स को अलग से क्यों बोला? They can made in the clause E also in continuation. Just clarify this doubt and then I will ask second doubt. Oh, Geet, then I have the different question to you. I have the different question to you. Just park that question. For the time being, I will ask to you. Some goods. But here we are not talking about goods, right, Yogesh? Here we are not talking about goods. Here we are talking about that vehicle. Vehicle might carry. Okay, so you are saying, so Geet, your point is clear to me, but I will clarify one more point to you, to all. And some goods might not be taxable supply. Okay. Okay. And one second. So, Sanjay, my question is why they have not added in the clause D के बाद में clause E add कर देते हैं. Why they are making the separate subclause or clause, whatever. उन्होंने क्लॉज 17 सबसेक्शन 5 क्लॉज डबल ए एक सेक्शन है, प्रोविजन है, जिसमें सब क्लॉज 1 था. मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि यहां पे क्यों नहीं ऐड कर दिया? व्हाई दे हैव नॉट एडेड हियर इटसेल्फ? व्हाई दे हैव मेड द सेपरेट प्रोविजन और सेपरेट सब क्लॉज? दैट इज माय क्वेश्चन. सो फाइन, गीत एंड योगेश, ठीक है, आई गॉट योर पॉइंट बट आई हैव द काउंटर टू यू. बट संजय, योर आर्ग्यूमेंट वाज डिफरेंट. इज दैट क्लियर? अब मैं मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको शेयर करता हूं, मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको शेयर करता हूं, एंड देन आई विल कम टू द पॉइंट ऑफ द योगेश एंड गीत. ठीक है. सी व्हाई दे हैव made separate and why they have not added. Yes, Samyanathan, absolutely correct. You can carry your own goods. एक बात बताइए, आपकी फैक्ट्री है. If you purchase the truck for movement of your factory goods, is it your taxable supplies? If you are using the truck for own purpose, for own shifting the goods, we are using the truck for shifting the goods, will it be your taxable supplies? Will it be your taxable supply? Answer is no, it will not be taxable supplies. Then can you take the ITC? Answer is yes, I can take the ITC even I am using the vehicle for further taxable supplies like rental, GTA service, or I am using for my own transportation of goods. In both cases, ITC would be allowed. Is it clear that why they have not clubbed in the above and why they have made separate? Is it clear? अब एक बात बताइए, now Yogesh and Geet, my question to you, whether exempt supply is taxable supply? Whether exempt supply is taxable supply? Just tell me one thing. Whether exempt supply is a taxable supply? See, there are two types of the supplies only. Now let me go to definition of the composite supply. Just 2 minutes, I'm going to the definition of the composite supply. What is the composite supply? Two or more taxable supplies. What is the composite supply? Two or more taxable supply. Which is naturally bundled out of which is a principal. वहां पे वर्ड क्या? टू और मोर टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज. तो मेरा पॉइंट ये है, लेट्स से हेल्थ केयर इज एन एग्जाम सप्लाई ना. हेल्थ केयर इज एन एग्जाम सप्लाई. हेल्थ केयर सर्विस इज एन एग्जाम सप्लाई. एम आई राइट? एंड मेडिसिन आर टैक्सेबल. मेडिसिन आर टैक्सेबल राइट? Medicine are taxable, right? If I clubbed both and medical hospitals are giving the ICU treatment to any patient, out of which one is healthcare, one is medicine, which are naturally bundled. Complete combo is composite supply, and therefore principal is healthcare. Then entire combo would be exempted because of composite supply concept. मैं सही बोल रहा हूं ना? The entire combo would be exempted because of these concept, composite supply. ये कंपोजिट सप्लाई कैसे हो गया? एक तो एग्जेम्प्ट था, एक टैक्सेबल था. आंसर इज ideally the supply are being divided in two parts. The word is taxable supplies and word is non-taxable supplies. Any supply which is leviable to tax isn't taxable supply. Whether by notification it may be taxed at 5%, 18%, etc., or it may be exempted for the time being. But even exempted also taxable supply. Exempted supply is also taxable supply. So therefore, I do not have any problem in this word following taxable supplies. But but then you might have the counter argument for the 17 subsection 2. You might have the counter argument for the 17 subsection 2. कि sir, अगर मेरी exempt supply taxable supply, then I would be permissible to take full ITC. Now read the 17 subsection 2. They are saying bifurcating both separately. If any transaction which is used for taxable supplies and exempt supply, it means here they are not having intention to give this word exempt supply in the taxable supply. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. अब मेरा दूसरा क्वेश्चन, नाउ माय नेक्स्ट डाउट वाज, if they've used separately the transportation of goods, but here they have not used the transportation of goods, does it mean that in the clause A, even if you are using the transportation of goods, the ITC will not be allowed? यहां पर उन्होंने एक सेपरेट क्लॉज नहीं बनाया फॉर द ट्रांसपोर्टेशन ऑफ गुड्स. डज इट मीन that if I purchase the motor vehicle in the clause A, it will not be allowed? ITC will not be allowed. Please confirm. It is only allowed for the motor vehicle and vessel and aircraft, but it is not allowed for the motor vehicle. Tell me. Why they have not made separate clause here for motor vehicle, whereas they have made the separate clause in the clause AA. Okay, let's hear from others also. If the company given for renter is not allowed transportation. You are asking new question to me or you are giving the answer to my question? Samyanathan. New question. If the company given for rental is not allowed. No. Samyanathan, last you have given the correct answer. So I am saying that if the vessel and aircraft used for the transportation of goods, that you have given the correct answer. Now my next question to all, ki like in this clause AA, they have made separate provision for the transportation of goods, but they have not made separate clause, or I can say sub clause, for the transportation of goods. It means if I have purchased the motor vehicle for goods, ITC will not be allowed in the clause A. That is my question. Purchase the motor vehicle, let's say, for goods, ITC will not be allowed. So Chitra has given the correct answer. Yogesh has given the correct answer because they have explicitly used the word transportation of person, meaning thereby Sanjay ITC would be available. Sanjay ITC would be available. Why they have not explicitly written transportation of goods? Because they have given explicitly clause A to the transportation of person. Clause A का blocking is only restricted to the transportation of person vehicle. Therefore, there is no requirement to mention the transportation of goods. Might be they can use this clause also. Vessel and aircraft used for the transportation of person. If this is the wording, then again I can say this clause का कोई requirement नहीं था. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear to all. Now coming. The following supply of the goods or service or both is also under the block category. Services of the general insurance, repair, maintenance, servicing, insofar as they relate to the motor vehicle, vessel, and aircraft, referred to in the clause A and the clause double A. It says that following supply of the goods or services, wherever it is written, service of the general insurance, servicing, repair and maintenance, they as they relate to the motor vehicle, vessel, and aircraft referred to in the clause A and the clause double A. Fine. Again, they are saying some exception are there, the proviso they have written. We'll discuss the proviso. It means if the ITC is blocked, then also it will be available when the motor vehicle, vessel, and aircraft are used for the purpose specified therein. Okay. When received by a taxable person engaged in the manufacturing of such motor vehicle, vessel, or aircraft, or in the supply of the general insurance in respect of that motor vehicle, vessel, and aircraft. Very interesting clause. Let me ask the question, you give the answer, and then I will discuss. I have purchased the bus 52-seater capacity and I have done the repair and maintenance. The repair and maintenance is not that because bus is not specified in the clause AAA. Second, I have not used the bus for the purpose specified in the clause AAA. My question to you, will the ITC of repair and maintenance be allowed or not? Will the ITC of repair and maintenance be allowed or not? Very nice. You all are correct. Now tell me why the repair and maintenance of the bus is allowed. Is it because of this provision or is it because of this provision? Is it because of the main clause or is it because of this serial number 1 or something else? I'm asking to you. Your answer is correct. I'm not denying to that. Is that motor vehicle in my question bus 52-seater is covered in the clause A? जो मेरा मोटर व्हीकल था, जो मेरा एग्जांपल था बस का, whether it is covered in the clause A? अब मुझे स्पेसिफिक आंसर दीजिए, जो मैंने बस का एग्जांपल लिया, whether it was covered in the clause A? whether my bus was covered in the clauses, you are saying that yes, ITC is allowed because of this. Then my next question to you, जिस बस का जिक्र हम कर रहे हैं, the bus which we are talking about, whether it is covered in the clause A. Answer is no. एक बात बताइए, just think, had it be covered in the clause A, had it be covered in the clause A, then you can't take ITC. अगर मेरा जो एग्जाम्पल है, if in my example I have used one motor vehicle, if that motor vehicle is covered in the clause A, then it says that ITC not allowed. Then it says that ITC not allowed. And you all are clear that it is not because of the purpose specified therein. You all are saying कि हमने बस का यूज उस पर्पस के लिए नहीं किया जो क्लॉज ए के अंदर स्पेसिफाइड है. You got my point? Try to understand. See, one is, let me make one a short diagram on the word file. See, if my motor vehicle, I'm talking about only clause AB. I'm only talking about the clause AB, repair and maintenance. See, if the motor vehicle is covered in the clause A and not covered in the clause A, if it is covered in the clause A, then what should I say? ITC is allowed or ITC is blocked? I'm talking about repair, maintenance, etc. of motor vehicle. कौन सा motor vehicle which is specified in the clause A, ITC is allowed or not allowed? Correct. Not allowed. Not allowed. So can we say the bus is covered in the clause A and hence ITC is allowed? Whether statement would be correct? Can I say that bus 52-seater is covered in the clause A, therefore ITC is not allowed? Yeah, ITC is allowed. Can we say this sentence? मैं सेंटेंस रिपीट करता हूं कि मेरा बस वो मोटर व्हीकल है विच इज कवर्ड इन द क्लॉज ए एंड देयरफॉर आईटीसी वुड बी अलाउड. नहीं, क्योंकि क्लॉज ए में कवर हो गया, क्योंकि क्लॉज ए में कवर हो गया तो आईटीसी तो नॉट अलाउड है ना. नॉट अलाउड, आईटीसी नॉट अलाउड. सो बस इज कवर्ड इन द क्लॉज ए? नो, बस इज नॉट कवर्ड इन द क्लॉज ए. व्हाई? Because clause A talking about up to 13 seaters. Bus is they are talking about up to 13 seater. But whether my bus was more than 13 seater, तो बस क्या clause A में cover है? Answer is no. ये वाला point differentiate कर पा रहे हैं आप? Is that point clear? संजय, specifically to you, क्या मैं आपको ये explain कर पा रहा हूं कि भाई बस आपका clause A में cover नहीं है and therefore ITC is allowed. Now, if I am covered in the clause A, then I have to satisfy that it is used for the purpose specified therein. Matlab, you remember that three purpose we have discussed: further supply of that motor vehicle, transportation, or training. Correct? If you are using that motor vehicle, so for example, I have purchased the car up to 13-seater. And using for that car for training purpose. Will the ITC of repair and maintenance be allowed? Will the ITC of repair and maintenance be allowed? Chitra, car up to 13-seater, and I'm using that car for the further taxable supplies of the training of that motor vehicle. Will the ITC be allowed? I'm saying that it is my further taxable supplies. Fine. Just help me. Is it covered in the clause A or is it covered in the not covered in the clause A? Whether the motor vehicle was covered in the clause A or not covered in the clause A. Covered in the clause A. So ideally ITC not allowed. Ideally ITC not allowed. Sanjay, car was up to 13-seater. Therefore it is covered in the clause A. ITC normally not allowed, but why it is allowed then? Why it is allowed then? See, if it is referred in the clause A, then ITC not allowed. Why it is being allowed? Because it is used for the purpose. Because it is used for the purpose specified therein. Now let me just highlight the word again. In my example, the motor vehicle is covered in the clause A plus using for the purpose specified therein. Therefore, ITC was allowed. Last question to you. If I purchase a truck for the transportation of my own goods and I am not making any taxable supplies, is it covered in the clause A or is it not covered in the clause A? The repair and maintenance, I am incurring the expenditure for repair and maintenance. Is it covered in the clause A or is it not covered in the clause A? It is covered in the clause A or is it not covered in the clause A? Answer is not covered. Not covered. And therefore, do I need to use that motor vehicle for the purpose specified therein for taking the ITC? Do I need to use the truck for the purpose specified therein to take the ITC? Try to confirm my statement. क्या मुझे उस ट्रक का यूज क्लॉज ए और क्लॉज डबल ए के जो पर्पस लिखे गए हैं उसी में यूज करना पड़ेगा? देन ओनली आई कैन टेक द आईटीसी. आंसर इज नो. Fine. So what is the crux? Let me tell the conclusion. Sanjay, just confirm whether everything is clear to you or not. If it is motor vehicle up to 13-seater and transportation of passenger, then ITC is blocked. When it is allowed? For the purpose specified therein. Then I can say, so I can draw one statement. I can draw one more statement. I am differing my discussion, changing my discussion. तो मैं एक रूल बना सकता हूं. I can make one rule. If ITC on the original vehicle is permissible, then its repair and maintenance is also permissible. Can I say this? If ITC on the original vehicle is not allowed, then ITC of its repair and maintenance is also not allowed. Can I say this? Correct. That is the thumb rule, you can say. Would you check the ITC is allowed or not? Just check whether ITC of the repair and maintenance is allowed or not. Just check whether ITC on the original car is allowed or not. Original motor vehicle is allowed or not. Correct. Now they have used two more purpose in the manufacturing of the motor vehicle. अगर मैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहा हूं मोटर व्हीकल का तो ऑब्वियसली इट इज फॉर सेल ओनली ना. It is for sale. And second, in the supply of the insurance. So if I'm a general insurance, then also will do the insurance of the, I'm doing the insurance of the stock. Let me repeat once again. If I am general insurance company You have taken the insurance from me for the insurance of your motor vehicle. Try to understand. मैं जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी हूं. You have taken the insurance. So if the car is having the repair and maintenance, I have to reimburse or not? आपने एक कार का इंश्योरेंस मेरे से लिया, आपके कार में कुछ रिपेयर एंड मेंटेनेंस एटसेट्रा है, देन आई नीड टू रिम्बर्स. आंसर इज यस. नाउ टेल मी whether for me, try to understand from my side whether I am making the further supply of that motor vehicle, whether I am making the further supply of that motor vehicle. सर मेरी कार ही नहीं है तो मैं फर्दर सप्लाई कैसे करूंगा? Whether car is used for the transportation of passenger. Sir, car is not belongs to me. How can I use for the training of the passenger? Car is imparting the training. Same answer. Can I say that in this case, insurance company is not using the car for any of the purpose specified therein? Can I say this? The car is not being used for any of the purpose specified therein by the insurance company. Can I say this? अगर मैं ये कहता हूं तो आईटीसी ब्लॉक हो गया. If I say this, then think about I am insurance company. My ITC would be blocked, right? My ITC would be blocked. Therefore, they have made separate clause. If I am engaged in the insurance business, then ITC would be allowed. You got my point? अगर वो ये separate provision नहीं बनाते, then that was a problem. ITC would not be permitted. So one more thing. I hope it is clear to you all, but I can say that ITC is not available. This question may be belongs to different thing. First, non-business. Will you allow the ITC? I'm not using goods or services for the non-business purpose. But business purpose मैं use नहीं कर रहा, non-business के लिए use कर रहा. Will the ITC be allowed? No. Where it is written? Where it is written? (17) subsection 1. If I am not satisfying 6 condition, that invoice नहीं था, goods नहीं आया, whatever, then ITC will also be not be allowed. Where it is written? (16) subsection 2. If it is used for business purpose but it is covered in the block credit, where it is written? अभी जो डिस्कस कर रहे हैं 17 subsection 5. If you are using partly for taxable supplies and partly for exempt supply, then ITC will not be allowed to the extent of exempt supply. Am I right? Where it is written? 17 subsection 2. Last point, ITC is the rate notification says that if you choose 5%, just example I'm saying, I'm taking one example. Let's say I am into the restaurant and I'm using the 5% outward taxable supply, ITC not allowed. It is where it is written in the rate notification. कहने का मतलब क्या है? ITC may be not allowed. This could be attributable to the multiple reason. हो सकता है वो आपका नॉन बिजनेस एक्टिविटी है, हो सकता है आपने कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई नहीं की पर बिजनेस एक्टिविटी है, हो सकता है उसका यूज बिजनेस पर्पस के लिए बट उसका नाम ब्लॉक क्रेडिट में लिखा गया, आपकी आउटवर्ड सप्लाई एग्जेम्प्टेड है, आपके रेट नोटिफिकेशन में अलाउड नहीं है. सो देयर कुड बी द मल्टीपल रीजन फॉर नॉट अलाउिंग द ITC. इज दैट क्लियर? ये वाला पॉइंट क्लियर है? अब कुछ क्लैरिफिकेशन का डिस्कशन कर लेते हैं. So there was lot of clarification. Let's read. First, clarification on the ITC availability on the demo vehicle, which are motor vehicle for transportation of passenger having approved seating capacity of not more than 13 seater, including driver, in terms of the 17.5 clause A. The usage of the word such motor vehicle instead of the said motor vehicle in the 17 subsection 5 clause A and subclause A implies that the intention of the lawmaker was not only exclude from the blocking the motor vehicle which is itself further supplied, but also to exclude the motor vehicle which is being used for the purpose of the further supply of that motor vehicle. Try to understand. So beautifully explained. कितना डिफरेंस है वर्ड सच यूज किया या वर्ड सेड यूज किया. मतलब जो आप फर्दर सप्लाई कर रहे हो उसके लिए अगर कोई चीज यूज कर रहे हो, भाई डेमो कार जब तक मैं यूज नहीं करूंगा, ट्रायल रन जब तक मैं नहीं दूंगा, probably my customer will not ready to buy that car. So for selling that car, I'm using another car which is kept for the demo purpose. Therefore, they are saying that the blocking of the ITC, which itself for further supply, but also exclude from the blockage the motor vehicle which is being used for the purpose. Demo vehicle are used by the authorized dealer to provide the trial run and to demonstrate the feature of the vehicle to the potential buyers. It helps the potential buyer to make the decision to purchase the particular kind of the vehicle. Therefore, demo vehicle promote the sale of the similar type of the motor vehicle and can be considered by the used by the dealer for making the further supply. So ITC क्या होगा? Will it be allowed or will it not be allowed? ITC on the motor vehicle, will it be allowed or will it not be allowed? Answer is it will be allowed. Again, they have specified various situations where the demo vehicle are used for the purpose other than making tax, other than making further supply, say for the transportation of its own staff, employee, management. In that case, ITC will not be allowed because same cannot be said that I am using for further supply of that motor vehicle and therefore ITC in respect of which will be excluded. मतलब therefore ITC in respect of that motor vehicle will not be excluded. कहने का मतलब क्या हो? ITC will not be allowed because मैं उस particular car का use for different purpose I am using. When the authorized dealer merely act as an agent or service provider to the vehicle manufacturer for providing the marketing service, including providing facility of vehicle test drive to the potential customer of the vehicle on behalf of the. Any question? You cannot find Saminathan. Very good point. See, various things are on self-assessment basis. Various things are on self-assessment basis. Correct now. Say for example, I have purchased the goods, whether it is used for business or non-business. Who will declare? Taxpayer himself would declare. It cannot be identified unless and until there is a search, seizure, or scrutiny. So in the same pattern, it can only be identified by the recipient, by the person who is using that particular vehicle. Test drive to the potential customer of the vehicle on behalf of the manufacturer and is not directly involved in purchase and sale of motor vehicle. In such case, the sale invoice for the vehicle is directly issued by the manufacturer to the customer for providing the facility of the test drive to the potential customer. The dealer purchase demo vehicle from the vehicle manufacturer. Dealer may sell the demo vehicle to the customer after the specified time period of kilometer as per the agreement with the vehicle manufacturer company on payment of applicable GST. Therefore, in such case, authorized dealer is merely providing the marketing facilitation service to the manufacturer and is not making the supply of the motor vehicle on his own account. Therefore, the said vehicle cannot be said to be used by the dealer for making the further supply of that motor vehicle. यहाँ तक तो बात क्लियर है ना? We cannot say that demo vehicle is used for the supply of that motor vehicle because मैं उस main motor vehicle की तो supply करता ही नहीं हूँ. I am authorized dealer. I am not making that supply because I am only acting as an agent. उस पर्टिकुलर सेल मेन व्हीकल का न्यू व्हीकल का सेल इज बीइंग डन बाय द कंपनी मैन्युफैक्चरर कंपनी इटसेल्फ. Accordingly, in such case, in respect of such demo vehicle would not be excluded from the blockage in terms of the 17.5A and therefore ITC would not be available to that dealer. Means motor vehicle for the transportation of person having approved sitting capacity of not more than 13% including the drive. Okay, that is okay. Now coming to the food and beverages. So we take the short break, short 10-minute ka break, and we'll resume at 8 o'clock. We'll start the food and beverages ka block is. Ajit ji, 10 minute ka break start. So now we are discussing that particular food and beverages, for which there is also clarification which we will discuss after completion of the provision. ठीक है. Give me 1 minute. ठीक. So now clause B. It simply says the following supply of the goods or services or both. ITC will not be allowed. First says that food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health service, cosmetic and plastic surgery, leasing, renting or hiring of the motor vehicle or aircraft referred in the clause A or AA except when the purpose used for the specified therein. Now I will not read the particular point कि clause A or AA में covered है या नहीं है या वो specified purpose में नहीं. We have already explained in the clause AB. So in conclusion, I can say if I have purchased the bus, then renting of that bus, if I have taken the bus on rent, will the renting of the bus ITC would be allowed? Answer is yes, always allowed. Second, the renting of the motor vehicle up to 13-seater is allowed only if it is allowed अगर मैं उसका पर्पस, उस मोटर व्हीकल का पर्पस मैं यूज कर रहा हूं फॉर द पर्पस स्पेसिफाइड देयरइन. Food and beverages, outdoor catering, beauty treatment, health service, cosmetic and plastic surgery, renting, leasing, hiring, and life insurance and health insurance. ITC is blocked. Proviso says that ITC in respect of such goods or services shall be available where an inward supply is used by the registered person for making an outward supply of same category or as an element of the taxable composite or mixed supply. Very important line. अगर मैं ऊपर वाले जो भी आइटम है food and beverages I am using for making the further food and beverages ka supply, ITC will be allowed or not? ITC will be allowed. No, I'm not subcontracting. Gita, I'm saying I'm purchasing the food and beverages. I am making the further supply of the food and beverages. So I'm purchasing from the market for further selling into the market. So ITC would be allowed. Now listen my question carefully. Have you heard the word MRO? Trading ho, correct. You can say the trading, or you can say the manufacturing of the, let's say I have purchased the raw material and I have made the sweets and I'm selling that sweets. Will the ITC be blocked in the 17.5? Answer is no, not blocked. अब एक आपने वर्ड MRO सुना है? MRO. Have you heard the word MRO? No, no problem. The word MRO means maintenance, repair, and overall services. Probably this word you might have heard but not able to recall. You have heard in the place of the supply chapter. When we will discuss or someone else will discuss the place of the supply chapter, in that you will find the word MRO services. क्या use है? MRO means, let's say I am XYZ Limited. What is my work? My work is MRO service. What is MRO? MRO means, let's say in relation to aircraft, vessel, whatever. Meant. So I am having the contract with the British Airlines company. Whenever the British Airlines company ka aircraft will come in India, Delhi airport, let's say, then my team will provide the maintenance, repair, and overall services to that aircraft. So I will raise the tax invoice to the British Airlines. and I will be allowed to take ITC, no problem. But the question comes that it takes, let's say, 2 hours. It takes, let's say, 2 hours for maintaining. Meanwhile, as per the contract, I have to provide the pick and drop facility to the crew member through Mercedes only. Fine. And they will stay 2 hours in the lodge. And they will take the food and beverages, etc. Try to understand. It might be the very, very good example for you. Now, the invoice which I am raising to the British Airlines is only for one component, that is MRO. Let's say it is 10 lakh rupees. Question comes, would I be permissible to take the ITC of renting of Mercedes car? मैंने कार रेंट पे ली है, क्या ये अलाउड है या नहीं? What is your view? I have taken the car on rent. I am using for pick and drop of that crew member, but I'm not raising the separate bill for that item. Will the ITC of renting be allowed? Next, will the ITC of food and beverages that is being consumed during the launch, will that be allowed or not? These are the two questions of which answer will be given by the clause B. आपको क्या लगता है? Whatever your primary view, you can say ITC allowed or not? Food and beverages allowed, okay. Renting not allowed. Correct. So primarily I can say, भाई कार का ITC allowed होता? Answer is no, ITC allowed नहीं होता. तो कार के renting का ITC normally it is not allowed. Now try to understand. Now I am linking with the proviso and then we'll explain the same question once again. This word is very important. This word element. See, what is same category? What is the meaning of same category? I have taken the car on rent and I am using the car for rental only. I am using that car for my rental business. It will be the same category. I am purchasing the food and beverages and making the further supply the food and beverages. It is same category. But in this example, whether I am raising the tax invoice for food and beverages to British Airlines, are we raising the invoice for renting of the car pick and drop facility? Answer is no. So it is not the same category. But this is being covered in the element of taxable composite or mixed supply. What is the composite? What is the composite? In the initial time, today class, we have discussed a composite means two or more taxable supplies. Two or more taxable supplies, which are naturally bundled. Or if it is not naturally bundled, then it is mixed supply. एक बात बताइए, if I will not provide the Mercedes, will my agreement completely satisfy? अगर मैंने उनको लॉन्च में स्पेस नहीं दिया और कुछ जो भी whatever they like to take the food and beverages, if I will not provide, whether my condition to the agreement is satisfied or not? Answer is not satisfied. Can't we say that in this case, my service to the British Airlines is 2-3 services. MRO services, renting services also, launch, food and beverages service also, out of which I am billing because my principal supply is MRO services. Therefore, I can say this agreement is not only for one component, it is two or more taxable supplies, out of which one is principal supplies. Based on that, I am raising the invoice. Therefore, I can say the food and beverage is also one element. The renting of the motor vehicle is also one element, which is bundled either as a composite or mix. There could be only two possibilities. Therefore, it is bundled supply and my transaction is covered in the proviso and ITC would be permitted. Is it clear or not? Is it clear or not? Chitra, Yogesh, everyone, please confirm. Okay, Samyanathan, yes, clear. So fine. Yogesh, okay. ठीक है. So again, further, see, we are in the clause B only. Let's move further. Membership of the club, health, fitness center, ITC not allowed. Travel benefit extended to the employee, such as leave or home travel, ITC not allowed. Now the proviso says that credit and respect of the goods and services of both shall be available when it is obligatory for an employer to provide the same to its employee under any law for the time being in force. Now the question comes whether this proviso, which is written in after the third clause, is it applicable to this clause only or entire 17.5b? What is my question? Let's say I am providing the life insurance or health insurance as per Workmen Compensation Act, which gives me the obligation to take the insurance of my worker compulsorily. Workmen Compensation Act मुझे ये कहता है कि I have to take, it is an obligation on employer to take the life and health insurance of the worker. तो अगर इसके तहत if I am taking the life and health insurance of my worker, will the ITC be allowed? Because the question comes, the proviso is written only after third clause. Will it be applicable to the clause 1 or not? Correct. Absolutely correct. So the circular 172, which is mentioned here also, there was various ambiguity in the market because various advanced ruling authority are giving the adverse decision by interpreting that this proviso is only applicable to home travel concession, etc. It is not applicable to the clause 1, clause 2. No. So therefore, I can say after this clarification, my answer would be whatever you have given, correct. Ki circular 172 is saying that this proviso would be applicable to the entire clause B. Very correct. Now let's read a part schedule clarification or whatever. If there is any things which need to be discussed, we'll discuss. समझ आ रहा है ना discussion? Everything is correct. Everything is clear, right? सबको speed and everything is okay. I have not asked, should ask. Speed में और explanation में कोई concern नहीं आपको, right? You may most welcome to give the any suggestion also. अगर आपको लगता है कि नहीं सर इस तरीके से पढ़ाएंगे तो हमारे लिए थोड़ा बेटर रहेगा. Whatever you give suggestion, I will incorporate the same. So there is no clarification, there is no anything. So I think we have to go to the clause C. Now go to the work contract. Thank you, Yogesh and Geet. Work contract service when supplied for construction of an immovable property, except when it is an input service for further supply of the work contract. क्या मतलब हुआ? Work contract service when supplied for construction of an immovable property other than plant and machinery, except when it is an input for further supply of the work contract. Now I am saying to you, tell me the possibility 2, 3, 4, whatever the possibility is there, that I would be allowed. Let me read the clause D also, and then you give the answer of this question. What is the question? एक बार मैं complete कर लेता हूँ, will tell you. Goods and service or both received by the taxable person for construction of an immovable property on his own account, including when it is used in the course of furtherance of business. For the purpose of clause C and clause D, the expression, the word construction include reconstruction, renovation, addition, alteration, repair to the extent of capitalization to the said immovable property. Now you have the clause in front of you. मुझे वो situation बताइए in the clause C and the clause D combinedly wherein ITC on the work contract would be allowed. ITC on the construction of immovable property would be allowed. There could be 3-4 situations जहां पर मुझे ITC जाएगा. Giving you 2 minutes, just think and tell me at least 4-5 situation, at least 4 would come. 1, 2, 3, 4 आएगा. 3 to 4, at least 3 to 4 will come. So give me the 3 to 4 situation when I am allowed to take the ITC of construction of an immovable property. Hmm. Correct. Requesting everyone to give the answer. Almost you have covered everything. If the work contract service is used for the plant and machinery, ITC would be allowed. If it is input service for making the further outward supply like subcontracting, ITC would be allowed. If I am not capitalizing the expenditure, construction, renovation, etc., ITC would be allowed. If the particular property is not immovable, then ITC would be allowed. All 4 categories you have covered very well. Thank you so much. Now, tell me, listen my question carefully. I am into the real estate sector. Oh, Saminathan has added one more point again. Let me, Saminathan, is it possible? So, Saminathan, please confirm your understanding that if I have taken the depreciation on plant and machinery, then ITC cannot be permitted. Is it right? Saminathan, only Saminathan. Fine. Taking the example, Saminathan, the value of the plant and machinery is 10 lakh rupees. Depreciation, GST is 1 lakh rupees. Total is 11 lakh. Can I take the depreciation on 10 lakh and ITC of 1 lakh both at the same time? Samyanathan, to you only. Fine. What we have discussed in the last class, it is not like that you have taken the depreciation, then ITC not allowed. No, it is not like that. 16 subsection 3 says that if the GST part you have taken the ITC, then please do not take the depreciation on the GST part only. 16 subsection 3, Samyanathan, it is not talking at all about the depreciation of taxable value. See, if I have purchased the capital goods, I will always take the depreciation. No one can deny to me. GST law says if you've taken the depreciation only on taxable value, then you can take the ITC on the tax part. I think you could not get the time or you could not visited that video which I told you in the last class. Taxable value 10 lakh. Tax, just rounding it off, 1 lakh. Total is 11 lakh. So I can take both at the same time. I can take the ITC of 1 lakh rupees and take the depreciation on 10 lakh rupees. No problem. 16.3, what it restricts, that if you are taking the ITC, then you cannot take the depreciation on 11 lakh. Is that clear? लॉ में कहीं नहीं लिखा हुआ है कि अगर आपने आईटीसी ले लिया तो आप डेप्रिसिएशन ले ही नहीं सकते. वी कैन क्लेम द डेप्रिसिएशन बट ओनली बिफोर जीएसटी वैल्यू. So on this 1 lakh rupees, 16 subsection 3 says that do not take double advantage, ITC as well as depreciation. They are silent. They are not talking about anything on the taxable value. Samyanathan, is it clear? If you have any doubt, you may visit the video once again. बड़ा डेंजर है. So this point is not clear to various people. It is not like you only, but it is not clear to various people also. So this question is being asked by multiple, but think good that you have asked the question. So plant and machinery अगर आपने लिया है उसके रिलेशन में, now let's say I have done the work contract service for repair of that particular machine. I have incurred 1 lakh rupees. 18,000 is the GST. I can take the ITC of 18,000 because it is plant and machinery. Correct? So let's take an example. Good, Samyanathan, you have asked the question. Let's take an example that I have not taken the ITC of plant and machinery. When I have purchased entire 11 lakh, I have capitalized the same. Assume that. Now I have incurred the work contract service 1 lakh. Can I have the choice to take the ITC or I cannot take the ITC because I have not claimed the ITC on the plant and machinery? हाँ समयनाथन, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, आपने ओरिजिनल प्लांट एंड मशीनरी जब परचेज किया था उसका आईटीसी नहीं लिया. नाउ यू हैव इनकर्ड दैट एक्सपेंडिचर 1 lakh rupees, 18,000 GST. Whether you still take the ITC of 18 lakh or your answer would be no ITC because you have not claimed the ITC on the original plant and machinery. करेक्ट करेक्ट समयनाथन, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. अब इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर दीजिए. एवरीवन आर रिक्वेस्टेड टू गिव द आंसर. ITC of the original plant and machinery I have not taken. It's my choice. I have not taken because I like to take the depreciation on 11 lakh. But now further in the next year, I've incurred the expenditure on the work contract of 1 lakh. Can I take the ITC or you will say no ITC because you have not taken the ITC on the plant and machine. Like in the car, we have done the linkage now. We have done the linkage that repair and maintenance ITC will be allowed if ITC on the original is permissible. Some linkage was there. Will that same linkage be applicable? Answer is no. You can take the ITC of 18,000. Simply you need to prove that it is plant and machinery, irrespective of the fact whether you have taken the ITC or not taken the ITC of that plant and machine. No problem. Welcome, Saminathan. Coming to the main point once again, I was asking the question to you that suppose I am into the real estate sector, I'm promoter. My question is limited to 17.5D only. I am the promoter. I am constructing the building flats for selling the same. I constructed the flat. Let's say I've created 3 towers and I've sold 3 towers. You tell me the goods and service which I have purchased, whether 17.5D is allowing or blocking the ITC. I have purchased the raw material like ink, beverages, cement, whatever, basic raw material to construct the building, flats. Will the 17.5D is allowing or blocking? What other things? Saminathan, Geet and everyone. Chitra. Kya 17.5D is blocking the ITC of the promoter? Chitra, can you give me the reason? What is meaning of SIT? SIT means stock entry. Okay. Now I am asking couple of questions to you. If I am promoted developer, whatever the expenditure I have incurred, goods and services, will I capitalize? Will I capitalize? जो भी मैंने goods और service purchase किए ली है for constructing of my building flats, will that expenditure be capitalized or not? Quickly give the answer. Will it be capitalized or not? So goods and service, if I am the promoter developer selling the flat, which is my stock inventory, absolutely correct, Geet. Now the expenditure like labor, raw material, will I capitalize that expenditure in my balance sheet? Answer is no. It will not be capitalized. Geet, normally the word capitalization relate to the word see, you will not capitalize even in the stock. So you will prepare the trading and profit and loss account. Capitalization means not carrying to the PL, directly carrying to the balance sheet. And capitalization term normally we are using with respect to balance sheet. See, I am not knowing in detail about the accounting, etc. There may be some different terminology or there may be some changes or exception. But यहाँ पे जो capitalization की बात करें, balance sheet में assets की बात कर रहे हैं. But जब मैं expenditure यहाँ पे incur करूंगा, I will debit to my profit and loss account. But whatever the inventory is there, I will take in the balance sheet item as an current asset. So point क्या है यहाँ पे whatever see, there are 2 exceptions. The first is whether the building is constructing on my own account or further sale. Answer is further sale. Second, whether I will do the capitalization. Answer is no. तो 17.5 के D के according ITC allowed है to the promoter developer, no problem. But I told you ना कि ITC is not available. That could be attributable to the multiple reason. Like in this example, the ITC is not available to the promoter developer because of the rate notification. The rate, they are saying that if it is affordable and if it is non-affordable, they have specified the rate, and also they are saying you are not allowed to take ITC. So my dear friend, ITC not allowed, not because it is blocked in the 17.5. No, it is not blocked. It is permissible. It is blocked or it is not available because of the rate notification. Is that clear? Is that clear to you? Fine. See, rate notification means if you are supplying this pen, which tax rate you will charge? You will see the GST tariff, right? Whether this mouse is chargeable to 18%, 5%, my teaching is chargeable to 18 or exempted. What you will refer? You will refer the GST ka tax rate notification. Like till today, tomorrow the notification number would change. Tomorrow the notification number would change. Till today it is 1 by 2025 for the goods, 11 by 2025 central tax rate for services. Tomorrow the goods number would be changed because 22nd September they have changed the entire tariff. So this is, I mean to say, the rate notification. So in the rate, let me show you one. That's a good question. Let me show you for your, again, the discussion which I am doing right now, it is mainly for your practical understanding, not for any other purpose. एक मिनट दीजिएगा. Just for the benefit of understanding, practical understanding, I'm sharing this rate notification. So this type of the line would be there, provided that credit of input tax charge on goods and service used for supplying the service has not been taken. So this means the IT, this is something different. This is something different. Okay. I'm just giving you one example that whenever I'm using the word, it is barred by, not by the 17.5, it is barred by rate notification. It means you will find this type of the condition in the rate notification. Clear? हाँ हाँ समीनाथन, राइट राइट. कल से हमारा रेट वेट सब चेंज हो जाएंगे ना. द न्यू टैक्स रेट विल कम इनटू द पिक्चर. That 12% slab will be omitted for all the items except one item. So these are the practical part which I have given the some basic understanding to all of you. Now let's move to the again. So what is the meaning of immovable property? Immovable property has not been defined in the GST. Therefore, we will have to look the definition in General Clause Act, which define the immovable property to include the land, benefit arising out of the land, and things attached to earth or permanently fastened to anything attached to earth. The terms attached to earth is defined in the section 3. In the earth, section 3 of the TP Act, Transfer of the Property Act, means rooted in the earth, as in the case of the trees and shrubs. However, the terms immovable property defined in the TP Act does not cover standing timber, growing crop or grass embedded in the earth, as in the case of the walls or building, attached to what is so embedded for the permanent benefit of enjoyment of that which is attached. Under the GST, the composite supply is treated as supply of service. Sorry, composite supply, the work contract, is treated as supply the service. Acha, okay. Yogesh, Geet, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So it is given in the particular point. Geet, we will refer that page also, page number which has been given by the Geet. Thank you. So under the GST law, the composite supply, the work contract, ITC, and the work contract service for the construction of an immovable property is blocked, except when it is an input service or the work contract, that is subcontracting. Same line of business, immovable properties, plant and machinery. Meaning of construction, they are saying construction means to the extent of capitalization. Meaning of the plant and machinery, again, word plant and machinery has been defined in the law. Means apparatus, equipment, machinery fixed to earth by foundation or structural support that are used for making outward supplies of the goods and services, and include such foundation and structural support, but exclude land, building, other civil structure, telecommunication tower, and the factory premises. Thus, ITC and our contract service availed for construction of plant and machinery is allowed to the recipient, irrespective of the line of business of the recipient and irrespective of whether expenditure is being capitalized or not. Correct. For instance, ITC and our contract service for construction of machinery fixed to earth by foundation would be allowed. However, ITC of the work contract service for construction of telecommunication tower is not allowed. Why not allowed? Because telecommunication tower is considered as not plant and machine. Clause D, almost same thing. Let's read it. So there was one big problem, plant and machinery, plant or machinery. Correct. The term used in the clause C above is plant and machinery, whereas the term used in the clause D above is plant or machinery. The expression plant and expression plant use or has not been defined in the GST Act. Anyone have any idea about these terms? Correct. Safari reiterate. Very famous landmark judgment. See, something why it is being discussed, it is being considered or not. There may be the intention of the legislator only. See, why they have not allowed the ITC. See, for example, you tell me one thing. You all tell me one thing. If I am constructing my factory premises for production of the goods in which I am dealing, can't you say that ITC the factory should be allowed because it is completely for production only? Don't you think that ITC on that particular expenditure should be allowed? It is not covered as a plant. Geet, it is not. See, construction of my factory is not covered as a plant. Only foundation or structural support that is covered. I cannot say the entire factory is considered as plant. No, it is not considered as plant as per the section I'm saying. They're saying, agar mujhe, suppose if I'm keeping the plant and machinery, so I need foundation. Yes, that is plant. I need the structural support. So for example, I need to keep the shed, create the shed so that my plant and machinery would be safe. So that is plant. But entire factory building would not be the plant as per the current provision of the law. I'm not talking about any judgment, any favorable or adverse judgment. But the only problem, they are saying on his own account. Clause D, they will use the word on his own account. So Samyanathan and everyone, it is the completely intention of the legislator to allow or not to allow. Distinction was addressed in the Supreme Court. Honorable Supreme Court has given the judgment in which the constitutional validity of C&D and 16(4) was challenged. Apex Court observed that explanation to Section 17, which defined the plant and machinery, seek to define said expression used in the Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. In the Chapter 6, the expression plant and machinery appears at several places, but the expression plant or machinery is found only in 17(5)(d). This implies that legislator did not intend to give the expression plant and non-machinery same meaning as plant and machinery. Therefore, they have made this distinction consciously. Therefore, the court held that plant or machinery and plant and machinery cannot be given the same meaning. We'll discuss the entire discussion. As a result, in case of the clause C, if the construction is of the plant and machinery, as defined, the benefit of the ITC will accrue. Similarly, under clause D, if the plant or machinery, then ITC will be allowed. While trying to analyze the plant or machinery, the court observed that expression or machinery has a different connotation. It can be either plant or machinery. 17(5)(d) says that construction of an immovable property, the very fact that expression immovable property is used, there could be the plant that is immovable. As the word plant has not been defined or the rules framed thereunder, its ordinary meaning in the commercial term will have to be attached to it. The Supreme Court held that question as to whether the mall, warehouse or building other than hotel, cinema, theater can be classified as plant is a factual question which has to be determined keeping in mind the business of the taxable person and the role that building play in the said business. If the construction of the building was essential for carrying out the activity of the supplying services such as renting, giving on lease or other transaction in respect of the building or part thereof which are covered in the clause 2 and clause 5 of the schedule 2, the building could be held as a plant. Then it is taken out of the exception covered out by the clause D of the 17(5) and section 16 subsection 1. Further, the court upheld the constitutional validity of these provisions. And finally, what happened? Anybody who have any idea about the changes in the act? Anybody who have any idea about the changes in the act? Just waiting for a minute. You all tell me the answer. What is the changes in the act? No idea about the changes. The Finance Act 25, Finance Act 2025 has removed the word or machinery. Has removed the word or. the Finance Act 25 has made the retrospective amendment for this clause. Plant or machinery has been substituted with the word plant and machinery by the Finance Act 25. Just check whether it is applicable or not for your, you are giving the exams in the different term. Okay. So it is applicable or not, just check the applicability period. But I'm saying now the judgment of the Supreme Court got almost diluted because they have removed the word or. So it means now the clause C, which talks about plant and machinery, and clause D also talk about the word plant and machinery. Point to be noted, this amendment is made retrospectively by the Finance Act 25. Now the clause C and the clause D have the same meaning. So like you have taken the example of factory, will be entire considered as plant? Obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. Why? Because if I will not consider the factory, then I cannot do the production. But they have amended the word retrospectively with plant or machinery की जगह क्या कर दिया उन्होंने plant and machinery कर दिया. Therefore, now they will not be treated as plant in my understanding, and ITC not allowed. But again, these type of the question would come checked in the Supreme Court or in the eyes of the Supreme Court, and then it will be decided. But I have told you about the current position, current provision. Is it clear to all? Saminathan, I hope आपको भी क्लियर हो गया ना?
सर अगर वो बिल्डिंग है वो प्लांट के नीचे आता है तो वो आईटीसी अवाइल किया
पूरी
रहेगा.
बिल्डिंग का नहीं मिलेगा, पूरी बिल्डिंग का नहीं मिलेगा. जितनी फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने वापस बोलिए एक बार.
वो फैक्ट्री का आपने बोला कि वो फैक्ट्री है वो प्लांट के नीचे आएगा करके.
आएगा ये तब जब प्लांट और मशीनरी वर्ड होता तब मैं आर्ग्यूमेंट कर सकता था.
हाँ, तो प्लांट और मशीनरी है कब वो आएगा करके अपन ने आईटीसी लिया है. सपोज एक पार्टी ने वो प्लांट के नीचे आता, प्लांट और मशीनरी था तो आईटीसी ले लिया. ठीक है. अभी रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली उस गवर्नमेंट ने चेंज किया है तो डू दे हाउ टू रिवर्स द आईटीसी?
In my understanding, as per the provision, answer is yes. They need to reverse the ITC. Only point, अगर आप वापस litigate करना चाहो, like Safari Retreat has done, मतलब taken the matter till Supreme Court, then it is okay. Otherwise, मेरा understanding यही कहता है कि plant और को plant end कर दिया retrospectively. It means they do not have any intention to differentiate clause C and the clause D.
ओके. तो अभी वो उसका मीनिंग है क्लॉज सी, लेकिन अगर आप बोले तो अभी आईटीसी रिवर्सल करना पड़ेगा और पूरा वो इंटरेस्ट या क्रॉस लॉन्ग बैक रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली है तो पूरा आईटीसी भी रिवर्सल करना ही पड़ेगा ना सर उनको.
करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट. मतलब आईटीसी परमिसिबल ही नहीं था. इन अदर वर्ड आई कैन से एज पर द लॉ.
यस सर. ओके सर.
So again, let's take another 10-minute break and then we'll resume to discuss this particular ITC on the duct and main halls. So there is some clarification that we will discuss and then we'll move further. 17.5E. Let's take a break of 10 minutes. Please explain. Saminathan, sure, I will explain. See, whatever I have explained, that is only repeated in this particular point. See, I told you that because they have done the amendment in the clause D, plant or machinery, that is word is plant and machinery. So that is the point only asked by. He has asked one practical problem. So let me explain that also because you have asked. He has asked that one factory building I have taken the ITC treating the same as a plant. Do I need to reverse the ITC? In my understanding, answer would be yes, because they have made the amendment retrospectively. The fine plant or machinery की जगह plant and machinery. C. Is it clear, Saminathan? Is it okay now? Okay. So the applicability, see, again, that point I'm not saying कि applicability for the exams would be different depending upon which attempt you are giving. Accordingly, check whether Finance Act का provision is applicable for your exam or not. That's it. So now एक बार 10 मिनट का break लेते हैं. We will resume again. ठीक है. Fine. अजीत जी एक बार 10 मिनट का break चलता है. network of optical fiber cables in terms of 17.5. ITC on the duct and main holes used in the network of the optical fiber cable for providing the telecommunication tower is barred by 17.5 C and D. Read with explanation to section 17. तो पहले हमें ना वो explanation read कर लेते हैं. Let me go to the after 17.5 there is an explanation. For the purpose of this chapter and chapter 6, the expression plant and machinery means apparatus, equipment, machinery fixed to earth by foundation or structural support that are used for making outward supplies and include such foundation and structural support but exclude land, building or any other civil structure. Therefore, the ITC of the factory is not considered as plant and machinery. Telecommunication tower and pipeline led outside the factory premises. Now for this, there is a clarification. We'll go to the clarification. एक second. Duct and main hole are the basic component of OFC, optical fiber cable network, used in providing the telecommunication service. OFC network is generally led with the use of the PVC duct and sheets in which OFC are house and service connectivity main holes, which serve as the node of the network and are necessary for not only laying the OFC but also for their upkeeping and maintenance. In view of this explanation, it appears that duct and main holes are covered in the plant and machinery as they are used as a part of the OFC network for making outward supply the transmission of the telecommunication signals from one point to the another point. Moreover, the duct and main holes used in the network of OFC have not been specifically excluded from the definition in the explanation, as they are neither in terms of the land, building or civil structure, nor are in the nature of the tower or pipeline. Therefore, the ITC would be permitted on these expenditure. Accordingly, it is clarified that availment of the ITC is not restricted of such duct main hole used in the network of the OFC under the CND of the 17.5. ठीक है. This is circular 219. Again, you are not required to remember the circular number, just I am giving you the reference, that's it. Now we'll come to the 17.5E, 17.5F, very small, 17.5FA, and inward supplies, personal consumptions, free sample gift, in which we will discuss the sale promotion. Yes, right. We have completed the clause D. Now, goods or services or both which has been paid under section 10. What is the section 10? What is section 10? It is composition levy. Whether he would be allowed to take ITC? Answer is no, because clause E says that it is block credit. Goods or services both received by the NRTP, non-resident taxable person, except on the goods imported by him. Can you tell me the number of the days for which registration is valid of NRTP? Right. कितने दिन तक NRTP का registration initial valid रहता है? How many days his registration is valid? Answer is 90 days. And further, he can subsequently extend by another period of 90 days. That's it. Goods or service both received by the taxable person, which are used or intended to be used for CSR, corporate social responsibility. They've given the reference of Companies Act. So if someone has incurred the expenditure on the CSR, then ITC will not be allowed. Again, goods or service for personal consumption, ITC not allowed. These are very simple clause. Now this we will discuss in detail. Goods lost, stolen, destroyed, goods lost, stolen, write off, disposed of by way of the gift or free sample, even disallowed on income tax CSR expenses. See, they have not, see, sometimes they have correlated with the income tax provision, but in this, they have not correlated with income tax law. They are saying any expenditure which are incurred in the name of the CSR as per section 135, that entire not allowed, whether under income tax, it has the different treatment. Okay. So it will always disallow. Last is any tax paid in accordance with the provision of section 74, 129, 130. So, acha, so that was the main. Income tax also disallowed, so therefore they have kept the same thing. See, the point is, assume that if the CSR is being allowed in the income tax, had it be allowed here, then there could be different provision changes. To keep the same, they have made the amendment in the law. In 17.5, FA has been added. सर मुझे ना इनकम टैक्स कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं है, अकाउंट्स कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं है. आई डू नॉट हैव टू मच आइडिया और नॉट बेसिक आइडिया आल्सो. नाउ आई हैव फॉरगॉटन because now completely into the GST. Therefore, please excuse me if I could not give the answer for income tax point of view or for accounting point of view. Okay. So now we are reading the goods lost, stolen, destroys, write off, disposed of by way of the gift or free sample. इस point का हम डिटेल में डिस्कशन करते हैं. Now we will discuss 2-3 more clarification. ITC not allowed for meaning of the gift. The term gift has not been defined in the GST law. Therefore, we will look the definition of the gift in the other law. They have given the definition from the Transfer of the Property Act. Gift can be movable or immovable, made voluntarily and without consideration by one person called the donor to the another person called the donee, and accepted by or on behalf of the donee. In common parlance, gift is made without consideration and should be in the voluntarily in the nature and occasionally. It cannot be demanded as a matter of right. मान लो दिवाली पर सभी एम्प्लॉय को गिफ्ट दिया, मुझे गिफ्ट नहीं मिला, तो आई कैन नॉट sue the company and take that gift. No, it is voluntarily. Sample is also not defined in the law. The dictionary meaning of the sample is a small part of quantity intended to show what the whole is like. In commercial parlance, sample are given to the prospective buyer to enable them to test the quality, feel, etc. Goods that are disposed of by way of the gift. Goods that are disposed of by way of the free sample. Goods which has been lost, stolen, destroys, or write off. Now, very nice circular 92. ITC in the hand of the seller in respect of the sales promotion scheme. Circular 92 has clarified the entitlement of the ITC in the hand of the supplier in respect of various sales promotion scheme. Taxability of the scheme has been discussed in the relevant places in the chapter 1. Samples and free gift. Samples which are supplied free of cost without any consideration do not qualify as supply under GST except Schedule 1. Sample और gift free consideration है, You told me in the last class that schedule 1 is means supply even without considerations. So even if there is no consideration, then also the transaction will be supplied. There are 4 para. So ITC shall not be available on input service capital goods to the extent when they are used for the gift or free sample. However, if the free sample ka activity become taxable by virtue of the schedule 1, I'm asking one very good example. If you're giving the gift to your employee for more than how much amount, then it will be taxable as per schedule 1. कितने अमाउंट से ज्यादा का अगर मैंने एम्प्लॉय को गिफ्ट दिया है, it will be taxable. Answer is 50k. Now let's say I have distributed on this Diwali the laptop to every employee worth of rupees 60,000. Will it be taxable? Yes, it will be taxable. Now, because it is taxable, even if it is a gift, I would be entitled to take the ITC of purchase of laptop. Outward supply क्या है? Free sample है. Gift है. Is it a gift or not? Will it change the nature? I have sold it to my employee. No, it will not change the nature. My nature is still same that it is a gift to my employee. Because it become taxable as per the schedule 1, therefore the circular 92 says that because it is taxable, you can take the ITC even for free gift. This point was clarified by them. However, when the activity fall within the supply definition, then ITC would be available. Okay. Buy one, get one free. Actually, we are purchasing the shirt and they are saying that if you purchase one, you will get one more. So second shirt is free. Will the supplier be eligible to take the ITC of input service capital goods used for second shirt? Primarily answer may be that because second is free, so he cannot use. Circular 92 has given the different angle. It says that it is not a supply of second item as free. Basically, it is 2 or more individual supply and for which single price is being charged. Correct. You are saying that you are supplying the 2 item at price of 1. So if it is single price, then will it always be composite supply or will it always be mixed supply? अगर single price charge हो रहा है पूरे combo का, will it be a composite supply or will it be mixed supply? Just asking. I'm asking very important question. अगर किसी ट्रांजेक्शन में ये लिखा हुआ है कि सिंगल प्राइस चार्ज हो रहा है उस कॉम्बो का, does it mean that it is a mixed supply always? Or it can be composite or mixed, anything? We have to see other things also. Depends or always mix? The answer is it will depends. It can never be concluded that it is always mixed supply. Why? In the mixed supply, there is additional condition that price should be single. But in the composite supply, is there any condition with respect to price? In the definition of the composite supply, is there any condition with respect to price? No. It says that it should be naturally bundled and one should be principal, another should be ancillary. Meaning thereby, in the composite supply, price can also be single, no problem. Or price can be different, no problem. Composite supply may price related, there is no condition. So therefore, when you see the word, it has to be the single price, not directly jump to the mixed supply. Because you have to see other condition, whether there is any principal element, whether they are naturally bundled. If yes, then it is composite supply, even though price is single. Single price is the additional condition for mix supply. It means to say that transaction as composite, it can be the mix, it can be the single price, or it can be the different price, no problem. So taxability of the supply will depend upon as to whether supply is composite or mix, and the rate will be determined as per the 8. ITC shall be available to the supplier for input discount, buy more, get more, buy more, save more. So discount offered by the supplier to the customer, including staggered discount, means if I will purchase the worth of rupees 1000, then I will get the 10% discount. If I will purchase the worth of goods 2000, then I will get 15% discount. Staggered manner discount is going on in the market, right? And post supply volume discount established before or at the time of the supply shall be excluded to determine the value, provided they satisfy the parameter let down in 15 subsection 3, including the reversal of ITC by the recipient, as it is attributable to the discount on the basis of the discounts issued by the supplier. क्या मतलब हुआ? It says that whatever the discount you are giving shall be excluded in determining the value. Suppose I am selling you the shirt at 1000 rupees, giving you 10% discount on the face. Then 15 subsection 3 clause A says that discount which has been given on the face of the value, deduct that. Then you will charge the GST on 900 rupees. If it is a post supply discount, post sale discount, then there is to some additional condition need to be satisfied. Value of the supply has been completed. You please quickly tell me, if I am giving the post supply discount, what are the additional conditions which need to be satisfied? My God, very nice. So I can say there are three conditions. First, there has to be the agreement on or before the supply. Second, it should be linked to the relevant invoices. Agree? Do you agree with this? That there are one more point, that it should be linked to the relevant invoices. And the third is ITC has been reversed by the recipient. If the three conditions are satisfied, then the discount amount will be excluded from the value. What does it mean? एक बात बताइए मुझे, just for my understanding purpose, just tell me one thing. If I have already raised the invoice on the full value and post supply discount, I'm satisfying all the three conditions, then how this will be excluded from the value? By giving the GST credit note. Absolutely correct, Sanjay. By giving the GST credit note. If I will say that conditions are not satisfied, then which discount, which credit note you will issue? 15(3)(b ka condition satisfied. There was no agreement. There was no linkage with the invoice. Then the term, the credit note will be without GST, and without GST, credit note is called as commercial or financial credit note. You tell me, very good important point. I have raised the invoice of rupees 100 by charging the GST of rupees 10 to my customer. It is a and it is a B. Will he take the ITC of 10 rupees? Will he take the ITC of 10 rupees? Just small question I'm asking. Answer is yes. He will take the ITC of rupees 10. Now let's say, because he has achieved the target of 1 crore, whatever it has been given. A is giving the post supply discount of rupees 15 and he's charging the GST of rupees, let's say 1, rounding off kar raha hu. He's issuing the GST credit note. He is required to do the reversal of ITC of rupees 1. Whether B is required to reverse the ITC of rupees 1, answer is yes. Reverse the ITC. Now let's say because the condition are not satisfied. Because the condition are not satisfied, therefore, now B is giving the discount to B, but it is a financial or commercial credit note. There are two questions being asked to Mr. B1, which you will give the answer. Because financial credit note will be treated as sometime as income in the books of accounts of B. Kuch accounts ki practice, the people are giving this as discount received and credit side of the profit and loss account. Income. Second, they are not make the payment of rupees 15 to the supplier. Because B will not make the payment to the supplier of rupees 15, so to the extent of 15, the B may be asked to reverse the ITC. Now you tell me, if it is a financial or commercial credit note, whether B required to reverse the ITC on rupees 15 or not. Fine, no need to reverse the ITC. So he will pay the GST because it is treated as income. Because it is treated as income, right? He is required to pay the GST. What is your view? Will he pay the GST or not? Will he pay the GST or not? Nothing. See, the primarily things, when the A was issuing the GST credit note, because he has reduced the liability by rupees 1, the correspondingly Mr. B will reverse the ITC by rupees 1. If he is giving the financial or commercial credit note of rupees 15, then no reversal is required. No reversal of ITC is required. Why the 180 days ka clause will not be applicable? Just last point I'm asking. Why the 180 days ka clause will not be applicable? Because in this case, B will not make the payment to A full 100 rupees. He will reduce by 15. Matlab, to the extent of 15, he will not make the payment. Why you are saying that even he is not required to reverse because of the 180 days? Tell me your point. Any argument? Very nice, beta. Very nice. Because the word is written, fail to pay. Because the word is written, fail to pay to the supplier within 180 days. Fail. Fail कब होता है? जब A is saying that I am asking 100 rupees, but B is saying that I am not paying full. I am only paying 85. It means in the books of accounts of A, there has to be the outstanding of B. In the books of accounts of A, there has to be the outstanding. But अगर वो 15 रुपए का credit note दे देगा, will there be outstanding in the name of B? Will there be any outstanding in the name of B? No, because he has reduced the receivable by rupees 15. So whether ये fail to pay होगा? Answer is no. Therefore, no requirement of reversal of ITC. This was being mentioned. There is no impact on the ITC. And in future, in future whenever in this month only there is one more circular has been issued to get more clarity on the secondary supply discount recently. In this month only they've issued one more circular by which more clarity has been given, but crux I have given, there is no requirement of reversal of ITs. Okay, is it okay? Now ITC reversal on time expired medicine or drugs. This is circular 72. What is 20? Okay. Very important thing which is being discussed in the circular 72, that was this one. I am a supplier, you are my customer. I am giving you the 100 units of any material. Now you are returning the two material. Either you can return and I will issue the credit note, or you can treat this as a fresh supply. You can treat as a fresh supply means you can raise the tax invoice to me of ₹2. Both are permissible. But I have the slight problem which I like to discuss with you, and you should always keep in mind. You tell me, is there any time limit to issue the credit or unlimited time I can issue? Is there any time limit or no time limit to the credit note? Credit note can be issued. No, wrong word. Always use the word credit note can be declared. 34 subsection 2, use the word declare. 34 subsection 2, use the word declare. Therefore, a credit note can be declared by 30th November following the end of the financial year, or annual return, whichever is earlier. Same timeline which we have talked about, time ITC का लेने का time limit. It means, suppose I have sold the goods in 23-24 to you, and you are returning the goods. Now I will issue the credit note. That has the time limit. But if suppose you have returned the goods in the month of December, can I issue the credit note? In the month of the December, can I issue the credit note? Answer is no. I can't issue the credit note. Now, circular has created one more line that you can treat the same as a fresh supply. Invoice issue करने का time limit है क्या? So, sorry, I'm asking the question कि sale करने का कोई time limit है that you have purchased the goods in this year, it has to be sold by next year only. Is it a time limit? No, no time limit. So, in the month of the December, you can treat the same as fresh supply. So, there is, I can say, somehow the exception from 34.2. So I can say some sort of the adjustment. Yes, you can treat the same as a fresh supply. So I return of the time expired goods. If I'm returning, so I will reverse the ITC. I will reverse the ITC. You will reverse. I will reverse my liability. You will reverse the ITC. Or if you are raising the same as an invoice, so I will take the ITC. Then, because it is a expired medicine, because it is a time expired medicine. So if you have sold to me, will I use for further sale or I will destroy? I am the manufacturer of the medicine. I have taken that back from you. Will I use for further or I will destroy? Answer is I will destroy. Therefore, circular has used the reference of 17.5H because I will destroy. So ultimately, I have to reverse the corresponding ITC. ठीक है. Third clarification was with respect to insurance company. Third clarification is with respect to, see, in the last class or in the last class, we will do the complete practical discussion. We'll try to solve the case study, ask in the exams or RTP or somehow. Before that, also, we will start solving the practical problem. ठीक है? Short ka, middle ka, long case study we will solve in the last class. 2 or 3, whatever the time permit, we will take the long case study, and in the second last class we will solve the small case study. ठीक है? हमारा प्रोविजन ऑलमोस्ट 3 days में या मैक्स टू मैक्स 3.5 days में कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. And in the last 10 minutes we will do the quick round of the question answer. So 9:45 I will do the discussion, the provision, and then after that I will do the quick round of the question answer on the today class. Insurance company engage in providing general insurance service in respect of the motor vehicle, either in cashless or reimbursement mode. Under both modes, the insurance account for the repair liability and is responsible for making the payment of the approved repair charges to the garage. Invoice are generally issued by the garage in the name of the insurance company. Under the reimbursement mode of the claim settlement, the insured avail the repair and maintenance from the non-networking garage with which the insurance company do not have the routine business relationship. The said garage issue the invoice in the name of the insurance company while not exceeding the credit limit for the repair cost. Accordingly, the policy holder make the payment of the repair and subsequently claim the reimbursement to the extent of approved. Further, irrespective of the fact that payment of the repair to the garage is first made by the insured, which is then reimbursed by the insurance company to the insured to the extent of the approved claim cost, the liability to pay for the repair services for the approved claim cost lies with the insurance company, irrespective of the fact that the payment is first made by the insured or first and then reimbursed by the insurance company or directly made. It does not matter. The liability to pay the repair for the approved claim cost always lies with the insurance company, and therefore same is covered in the definition of the recipient, that to the extent of approved repair liability. What is the definition of the recipient? Recipient means the person who is liable to make the payment. The ultimate liability is of the insurance company to the extent of the approved repair cost. Therefore, he will be treated as recipient. Consideration include payment related to the supply by the recipient or by any other person in terms of section 2 clause 31. Moreover, availment of ITC on repair charges received by the insurance company for outward supply of the insurance service for such motor vehicle is not barred under section 17(5). Can anybody tell me why it is not barred? Can anybody tell me why it is not barred? Because yes, it has been it has been mentioned specifically in the proviso that insurance company को वो repair, maintenance, servicing insurance का exception है in the clause AB. Correct? In the clause AB there is an proviso, right? So therefore, the availment of the ITC on the motor vehicle repair service received by the insurance company for outward supply of insurance service is not barred. Section 17(5) provide that ITC in respect of the service of the repair of the motor vehicle is available where received by the taxable person engaged in the supply of the general insurance service in respect of the motor vehicle insured by him. Accordingly, it is clarified that ITC available to the insurance company in respect of the motor vehicle will be allowed. So they have discussed some scenario. What is the scenario? What is the extent of ITC available to the insurer in case of issue of the two separate invoice by the garage, one for the insurance company for the approved amount, another to the extent of the excess amount. ITC is available on the invoice issued to it, subject to the reimbursement of the said amount by the insurance company to the customer. What is the extent of the ITC available in case of there is a single invoice which cover full amount, approved and unapproved? ITC is available to the extent of the reimbursement of the approved claim cost to the insured. Whether ITC would be available if the invoice for the vehicle is not in the name of the insurance company. What do you think? Will it be available or not? If the invoice is not issued in the name of the insurance company, will it be? Why? Any reason why it is not allowed? Sixth condition. Because in every case, the condition of the 16(2) has always required to be satisfied. मतलब वो transaction तो 2A 2B में आना ही चाहिए. It should come in that GSTR to be. It should be, there has to be the tax invoice in the name of the insurance company, recipient. Correct. We have talked about the 5 things has to be there in the tax invoice in order to claim the ITC, right? So recipient ka GST number, will it be there? Answer is no. Correct, Geet and Yogesh. So from my side, today class is done. 2-3 minutes. If you have any question, if you like to ask, you may ask. Else, I will do the quick round of the revision. In the next class, we will do the rule 42-43, and then section 18. It would be the what is after that? Any question? Just confirm yes or no, so that I can start the quick round of the question answer. No? Fine. Fine. That's okay. So shall we start? Fine. Mostly today we have discussed section 17, subsection 5 only. Some circular clarification. So our question would be limited to that, and if I'll try to use some more question from the last class also. Okay, random question, whatever it comes to my mind. Transportation of passenger up to how many seaters? Including driver or excluding driver? Right. Correct answer is 13 seater including driver. Next question. if I have purchased the car completely for business purpose, will that also be blocked or not blocked? That will also be blocked. If I am purchasing the car but using that passenger car only for the transportation of goods, will the ITC be allowed? The answer is no, because the car is for transportation of passenger. Car is for transportation of passenger. At the time of the purchase, we have to decide whether this car is for passenger car or for goods car. If it is goods, then only ITC would be allowed. Actual use is not important. Actual use. So, I mean to say that when I purchase the car, that car is for the transportation of passenger only. But now I am actually, so I have purchased that Mercedes and now using for the transportation of goods. ITC will not be allowed. Basically, main RC to be seen. Main purpose RC to be seen. What is the main RC talks about? The nature of the particular car. If I have purchased the car up to 13-seater transportation of person, in which case the ITC would be allowed? Saminathan, wrong answer. Employee commutation is not covered in that. Employee commutation is not covered in that. First point, it has to be used in maximum three, but only it has to be used in the three category, but these three has to be further taxable supply. Further taxable supply. It first is further supply of that car. Second is that transportation of passenger, and third is training or driving. Correct. Vessel and aircraft, these three exceptions are same. The additional one more exception is being there. What is? Transportation, further supply, training, flying is already there, but they have made one more exception. Transportation of goods. I hope everyone is clear that if we purchase the motor vehicle for transportation of goods, then also ITC is allowed, even though they have not made separate clause. Correct? Just confirm. ITC will be allowed. Food and beverages. If I am using as a part of further supply, will the ITC be allowed? Will the ITC be allowed? Answer is yes. The three insurance are three category of the insurance are covered in the block category. Tell me the name of that insurance. The three category of the insurance are covered under the block category. Which insurance are covered in the block category? कौन कौन सी इंश्योरेंस कवर्ड है जो ब्लॉक कैटेगरी में है? First right answer, insurance on the motor vehicle covered in the clause A or clause AA. Correct. First life and health. Now tell me the exception to these category. When the ITC on the life and health insurance be permitted? लाइफ और हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का आईटीसी कब मिल जाएगा? Okay. My question is, Chitra has given the answer that life and health insurance ka ITC is block category. Now I'm asking when it is permitted. Yes. Two correct answer. First is either as an element of taxable supply, mixed supply, like subcontract kiya, then it will be allowed. Second, if it is compulsory by any other law for the time being in force, for which I've given the example of Workmen Compensation Act. Now you have also added one more, key that if it is a part of employment contract, ITC, see, as per my employment contract, I'm giving the insurance to my employee. Will the ITC be permitted? My company perks, my company says that yes, we will provide the ITC. We will provide the insurance. Then can I, being a company, can take the ITC? Answer is no. It has to be compulsory by any other law. Like I've given the example of Workmen Compensation Act. I'll give you one more example. The Disaster Management Act was modified for certain number of days at the time of the COVID. They are saying that if you are in such business which were allowed, like food, etc., that were allowed, then in that case, you have to take compulsory life and health insurance of your employee. उस टाइम अगर किसी ने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस या हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस लिया तब आईटीसी मिल जाएगा. इज इट क्लियर एवरीवन? ठीक है. So fine. Can I take the ITC of bus repair and maintenance which I have taken on rent? Do you require to think so much? Do you require to think so much if I use the word bus? Which parameter you have checked when I talked about bus? आपने क्या चेक करके yes allowed किया? What you have checked that it is allowed? Correct. Whether it is motor vehicle specified in the clause A or not, eligible motor vehicle, because it is more than 13 seaters, so it is allowed. Everything is allowed. Whether you do the repair, whether you do the renting, etc., anything would be allowed. ठीक है. अब और क्या बचा? 17.5A, B and construction. Construction का expenditure is not allowed if it is capitalized or not capitalized. Just tell me, is it capitalized or not capitalized? Capitalized. Second, is it related to movable or immovable or both? Is it related to movable, immovable or both? Only immovable. Which type of the capitalization of immovable property is excluded? Plant and machinery. Correct? P&M. What is the name of the judgment that we have discussed in case of that particular 17.5 C&D? Supreme Court, Apex Court ka judgment. Which judgment we have discussed in the 17.5 C&D? Safari retreats. What was the main crux? कि clause C and clause D में क्या difference है? What is the difference between the clause C and the clause D? Or and end, right? P and N and P or M. P and M, plant and machinery, plant or machinery. So it is different meaning, right? How the law was amended to remove that difference? How the law was amended to remove the difference? Retrospectively, it has done plant or machinery. No, it has retrospectively substituted the word plant or machinery with plant and machinery. Whether telecommunication tower are covered in the plant and machinery or not in the definition of plant and machinery. Can you give me one more example which are not covered in the definition of plant and machinery? Can you give me one more example which are not covered in the definition of plant and machinery? Can you give me one more example? Correct. Pipeline led outside the factory premises. Correct. Land and building. Telecommunication pipeline led outside the factory premises. And that particular civil structure. Civil structure is also not covered. Correct now. If I'm constructing the building for my own account, is it blocked or not? It is blocked. It is blocked. It is blocked. Correct. Can you tell me 17 C and D? So therefore, we have discussed 3-4 categories which are very simple. Just tell me what are the other block category. What are the other block category? Just quickly tell me. We have discussed 3-4 clauses also. Right, right, Yogesh. Okay. NRTP सब कुछ ब्लॉक है, कुछ मिलेगा उसको. Something you would get, and everything is blocked. Okay, right, 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 right. Correct, correct, correct. Oh my God. Club membership. Oh, I forgot. Sanjay has covered that also. Great, very nice. Correct. CSR expenditure, composition, gift, free sample. Oh, everything is being covered. Not import. Correct. Food and beverages, CSR, gift or sample. Correct. 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 You have covered everything. When goods is being returned, there could be the two way. As per the circular 972, the return of the time expired medicine can be treated in two way. Either I will issue credit note or it can be treated as fresh supply. It can be treated as fresh supply. It can be treated as fresh supply. Correct. In case of the buy one get one free, will I be allowed to take the ITC for the second cert which I have distributed free? Take the ITC on input service capital. Is it always a two goods at one price, right? So if it is a price, if it is a single price, can we say it is always mixed supply? Can we say if it is a single price, can we always say it is a mixed supply? No, we can't say. It has to be checked other condition, other parameter, whether there is any principal element naturally bundled or not, like that. Circular 92 we have discussed. Circular 72 we have discussed, right? Now talk about insurance company. If I'm an insurance company and I am doing the repair and maintenance of, I'm making the reimbursement to you. See, you have taken the repair from me. Now your motor vehicle is being repaired from the non-networking garage. So he will issue the name to you. He will issue the bill in the name to you. When I will reimburse to you, will I be allowed to take the ITC? There may be 1 or 2 points you can add. Will I be allowed to take the ITC? क्या बात है गीत, वेरी नाइस यार, सुपर। इन शॉर्ट स्वीट क्रक्स मैनर में आपने मुझे बता दिया। Expecting the answer from everyone. Yogesh, Saurav. Saurav, you are not giving any answer. Able to understand, right? Saminathan, Sanjay, Chitra. Correct. ITC would be allowed. Condition number one, invoice should be in the name of insurance company. Second number, it should be only to the accrued amount, not completely. Not completely, right? Optical fiber cable. Is it a telecommunication tower? Optical fiber cable is a telecommunication tower. Optical fiber cable is a telecommunication tower. Answer is no. When I am using the part to the optical fiber cable like duct, etc., ITC will be allowed or not? ITC would be allowed or not? Answer is yes, ITC would be allowed. CSR expenditure, ITC allowed or not? You have already answered that. That I have taken care. Demo car, ITC would be available. Demo car, ITC would be available. So if I am an agent, I am only authorized to show the demo. I have purchased the car for demo purpose, but the sale will be made directly by the company. In that case, will I be allowed to take the ITC of that demo car? Very nice, Keith. No. In this case, ITC not allowed. In this case, ITC would not be allowed. So from my side, I have covered everything. So if any question from your side, then let me know. No? So goodbye to all of you. We'll meet on the next Friday. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bring more participant, bring more student, bring more friends. मजा आएगा डिस्कशन करने में, सच बता रहा हूँ। ठीक है, वेरी नाइस बेटा, वेरी नाइस गीत। हाउ मच स्कोर यू गॉट इन आईडीटी, इन सी इंटर? कितने मार्क्स आए थे सभी के आईडीटी में, सी इंटर में? यू कैन पर्सनली टेल, मतलब नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू शेयर इन एवरीवन। यू कैन पर्सनली टेल, सेलेक्ट माय नेम। ओह ग्रेट, वेरी नाइस यार, वेरी नाइस। ठीक है, अशोक जी, कंप्लीट हो गया डिस्कशन, कंप्लीट हो गया डिस्कशन। यू कैन कंक्लूड द क्लास। थैंक यू वेरी मच टू ऑल वंस अगेन।